Hey, this is Jeff, and today I'm resuming the Coito Ergo Sum DLC crossover after a longer than expected hiatus. I decided to do Honest Hearts next for a couple of reasons I'll talk about in a minute. The quest kicks off when you hear a radio broadcast saying a caravan company is recruiting experienced travelers for an expedition to Utah, which sounds like a potentially lucrative new market for me as well. It specifically mentioned couriers as having the right skill set and said a Pip-Boy is a plus, presumably because of the built-in GPS, so I'm going to check it out. It also sounds like a long haul, so unlike last time, I told Kakata I probably won't be home for a while. At some point in the past, I already got the map marker for the Northern Passage, but I'm still playing in hardcore mode, and fast travel hits your thirst meter harder than just walking in most cases, especially since I rode the bullet train into town from Pahrump and started right around the corner from the Sharecropper Farms. Anyway, I decided to do Honest Hearts next, partly because it was the second DLC released for New Vegas after Dead Money, so we'll be seeing them in the order the game developers intended them to be played in. More importantly, when I started the crossover walkthrough, I figured saving the best for last would keep me motivated. I love Lonesome Road, and Old World Blues is my favorite DLC for any Fallout game ever, while I remember Honest Hearts being kind of meh. But the very first time I played Dead Money, I wasn't a fan at all, and I had a much better time than I expected when I played it for this walkthrough, so I'm keeping an open mind. One big difference is I sort of speedran Dead Money for the Skills Dash series last year, so when I replayed it for the Coito Ergo Sum crossover, I had a bit of recent experience with it. But there aren't any guaranteed skill books in Honest Hearts, so I didn't touch it during the Skills Dash series, which means I haven't played it since I released the mod like 5 years ago, so I'll be looking at it with pretty fresh eyes. And here's the cave entrance to the Northern Passage. Here we have the Happy Trails Caravan Company, so let's see what they have to say. Guy with a Pip-Boy, some more traditional-looking caravan guards. And here's the boss, Jed.
Howdy, friend. Heard my little broadcast, did you? Yeah, you look the type. Wait a minute, I recognize you. Yeah, you're Alice McLafferty's rising star, ain't you? You sure you want to be here? McLafferty's non-competes are pretty rigid.
You're not wrong, but our relationship's more of a two-way street. If you saw her on the cover of issue 3, you might even say she's my rising star. Anyway, tell me more about the job.
The job is simple. Help us get this caravan into Zion and find New Canaan. The pay is 25 caps per day, half up front, half on return. You'll get a bonus if we make it into Zion, plus another bonus if we reach New Canaan. Oh, one more thing. Don't mention the name Joshua Graham to anyone. Anyone.
The pay's fine, but I hope you don't mind me cutting some side deals when we get there. Nothing that would compete with your caravan, but I'm always looking for opportunities to expand my own business. So why shouldn't I talk about Joshua Graham?
Just don't. It makes the new Canaanites powerful uncomfortable, and it scares the britches off the tribals. Don't talk about the burn man either while you're at it. Trust me on this one. It's for your own good.
Yeah, the Legion isn't a fan of his either. And that's an awfully specific taboo to warn me about, but I can wait for the other shoe to drop. So tell me about the Happy Trails Caravan Company.
We're a smaller company out of Sacktown, up in the northern part of the NCR. We run some business through New Reno. They're on the Little Loop. Had a nice run to Salt Lake City, too, but then we lost contact with New Canaan, and that went all to hell.
Why can't you get to Salt Lake City?
Without New Canaan's mission in Zion, the only ways to Salt Lake City are down the old I-80 or up through Ogden. The highway's too risky. NCR's rangers are so busy here in the Mojave, they don't have the manpower to keep the raiders off. Ogden's just too far. We'd lose more in travel expenses than we'd ever earn.
Sounds like Happy Trails isn't in the best financial shape.
You ain't wrong. Losing the Salt Lake City run really stung us. If we can't re-establish contact with this run, we'll be in real trouble.
Well, I'm here to help. What can you tell me about New Canaan?
Don't know much about the place, but I can tell you about the people. The New Canaanites were some kind of religious group from before the war. They control the old city of Ogden, a ways north of Zion, and they got themselves a nice defensible mission in the canyon itself. Or they did. They trade a fair bit with the tribes in Zion. Well, the ones that don't try to kill them anyways.
Well, I shouldn't make assumptions about religion versus demand for prostitution and pornography. You don't know what happened to their mission?
Nope. Hence this caravan. If we don't make contact with the New Canaanites, Happy Trails might as well just shrivel up and die. You know we ain't coming back this way for a good long while now, right? And you know about the weight limit. I don't want no whining about old Mr. Masterson. I left my one-of-a-kind plasma cannon back at base. Can we go back for it? You sure you're ready now?
Actually, I wanted to talk to the rest of your team. Let me take care of some other things first.
Fair enough. Come on back when you're ready.
And we'll do that. Let's start with Mr. Pip-Boy.
You looking for trouble, bud? I got plenty to spare, so watch your ass around me.
Yeah. I see you're wearing a Pip-Boy and vault suit.
Nice job, Eagle Eye. Of course I got a pit boy and a vault suit. So what?
So, what do you use the Pip-Boy for?
Sorry. The shit I do with it is so far over your head, be wasting my time to put it in words you could understand. Basically, it makes me badass. More badass, I mean. It's totally mind-blowing shit. It ain't just some bracelet. Know what I mean? Jed says it's got maps and shit like that. So that's how I'm gonna guide this caravan where it needs to go. Not that I didn't know all that already.
You, did notice I'm wearing a Pip-Boy too, right?
Huh? Of course I noticed. First thing I noticed about you. Me? I'm so used to wearing mine, it's just normal. Don't think you're someone special just because you got one.
You're right. Having a Pip-Boy doesn't make you special. Thing is, Ricky, yours isn't working. The screen's locked up and the reboot button's missing.
Bullshit! Ain't nothing wrong with my Pip-Boy. I mean, Pip-Boy. Look, this is a sweet gig for me. Don't go fucking it up. What are you after anyways?
This is one of several ways to raise the weight limit that Jed will let you take with you. Carry some of my gear and I'll keep my mouth shut.
I travel light on purpose, okay? But fine, I'll tell Jed I'm carrying less so you can carry more. What an asshole.
Might as well do the skill check for some XP. Unwarranted hostility and general agitation. How long have you been a psycho addict?
Hey, fuck you! I didn't say nothing about using psycho!
You can sell him drugs, but I think you get the picture with this guy. Goodbye.
Yeah, whatever.
How's the NCR gonna protect Vegas if it can't even protect its own president?
Mark my words. Won't be long before the Legion and NCR butt heads over Hoover Dam.
Looking to join this caravan, huh? Look to me like you can handle yourself.
I do okay. How about you? What are you doing here?
Earning my keep. Jed hired me on as a caravan guard for this expedition of his. The work suits me. I've tried staying put in one place, but it never works out. Grew up in New Reno, and I couldn't put that snake pit behind me fast enough. Then I wound up wasting the prime of my life playing sheriff in Caliente. Little town north on the 93. Talk about a pain in the ass. You ask me, best to keep moving. At least the scenery changes.
Funny you should put it that way. The caravan isn't going anywhere soon. I run the Lollipop Saloon and Studio. You should come check it out.
And then what?
You could pose for the magazine. No hanky-panky. Like I told Jed, Alice McLafferty herself posed for me. Glamour, fun, and recognition. Easy money.
Sounds better than a porn movie.
Right, you're from New Reno, so you know all about that. Ready to go?
Hell yes.
Now, that said, we do make porno movies here too, but it's a much classier operation than Golden Globes in New Reno. Get out the camera, take some pictures. In fact, you see that woman over there? That's Fresca Koi, the Fresca Koi. Long story. Actually, hey Fresca, I need to pack for a trip. Would you mind taking care of the photo shoot? Thanks. I actually already trimmed down my loadout to meet Jed's weight restriction before I started recording. I just don't want to have to do the digital blur thing when Stella strips. As soon as she's finished, I'll set the layout and notify the distributor because I already have enough film in the can to do a Caravan or theme issue. There she goes. And it looks like she's going to take the bullet train. Just send it back to this station when you get there, all right? Tell Jed I'll be along shortly. All right, to the layout terminal. We'll use Lady Jane on the cover, Stella as the opener, and Rachel, the Caravan hostage from Vault 3, as the closer. They're all in the middle tier for section bonuses, but I already used all the Caravan models with top tier section bonuses in a theme issue back in the original Coito Ergo Sum walkthrough, including the aforementioned Alice McLafferty, who, because of her fame, or notoriety, is an elite tier cover girl. And we're low on toner. I know Cal restocks the printing press with paper and ink when he picks up the magazines, but I actually don't remember if you can kick off the print job when it's low like that. Better safe than sorry. And there's the Luma screen. Didn't even need to censor it. I don't remember if there was any rhyme or reason as to why some of them are nude and some are glamour shots, but it certainly makes editing the videos easier when they're not showing their naughty bits. Excuse me. And the bullet train's not here. Which is not because Stella actually took it, but because I rode it into town and then fast-traveled back for the photo shoot, so it's still at the Vegas depot. Go upstairs and call it back with the terminal. I'm ready to go to Zion.
You sure about that this time? We ain't coming back for a while.
Yes, I'm sure.
Well, all right then. Let's get moving. We got a long road ahead of us.
And as is typical of the New Vegas DLC, we now get a lengthy slideshow with an exposition dump introducing the backstory. See you on the other side.
All right, people. Been a long couple of weeks. But here we are, Zion. I know your feet hurt. I know you're tired. But I need everyone's mind on the trail ahead.
Ain't the trail ahead worries me, Jed. Those descents we made through that slot canyon back up there. Ain't no way we're getting back out the way we come. And then what?
God damn it, Stella heard you the first time. And the 15th, too. The new Canaanites will know a way. And if they don't, we've got the maps on our friend's Pip-Boy over there. Enough lollygagging. Get moving. And keep an eye out for tribals.
Sorry to bother you with reality, old Jed. Who cares if we can't get back out the way we come? That's not a problem.
Most of what's in the slideshow you can get from sources in the base game and Jed's dialogue. It just summarizes the key points you might have missed. The one new piece of information is that Joshua Graham, a.k.a. the Burned Man, was himself a new Canaanite.
Hold on now. Could swear I heard something up ahead. God damn it, ambush! Cover people! Watch yourselves!
I don't deserve this.
Shut the hell up, Ricky. Might as well be waving at him. Enough of this. We're sitting ducks here. Here I come. I was a sheriff once, goddammit.
Stella! Oh, no. Don't you die on me, woman. Ah!
Well, this is awkward. Unfortunately, there's no way to save the Caravan team because there's a script that controls the ambush and it kills them all no matter how quickly and accurately you react. And it does it in a specific order so you hear their dialogue, like Jed responding to Stella getting shot. And just so it's not obvious the game is cheating, it makes the last attacker immortal until the whole Caravan is dead. I mean, maybe I just missed him 5 times in a row, but it wouldn't have made any difference either way. And I'm pretty sure I didn't. Anyway, let's finish looting the bodies and then see about making contact with the locals so we can ask if they know how to find the new Canaanites. Not these locals, obviously, but Jed said some of them were friendly and others not so much, and we just had the bad luck of running into the unfriendly faction first. There are the 2 I saw by the bridge. Lucky for me, my Pip-Boy knows who's friendly and who's not. I vaguely remember there being an ambush on this bridge, but there's no other way across. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that water's too shallow, so for once the old video game cliche that jumping into water won't hurt you no matter how far you fall won't really help me here. And there's the ambush. I don't know if it's because I'm higher level than when I played it before, or if that guy just happened to spawn with a weapon that wasn't very good at long range, but that wasn't as bad as I remembered. Well, assuming there aren't any more, of course.
Hoy, white legs don't leave survivors often. You're some kind of lucky, let me tell you. You came from outside, didn't you? From the civilized lands. Wow. Joshua will want to hear about this.
Civilized lands? What do you mean?
I mean the lands beyond the valley. The place where the cities never fell. Where people don't live in tribes and forage just to survive. Joshua keeps saying it isn't paradise out there. But how can it not be, compared to this? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Joshua will want to know about you. Please, go to our camp on the Eastern Virgin. Tell him how you came to be here.
A lot of people where I come from would consider this paradise. Well, except for the being shot at part, but you have that anywhere, right? But my friend Brett grew up in a tribal village and couldn't wait to see the more cosmopolitan side of things. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. Sure, I'll go with you and see Joshua. Heard a lot about him. Be interested to meet him.
Good sis. Maybe while you're there, you can tell me about where you came from, yeah?
And now he becomes a companion and gives you a unique perk while he's in your party. When you reach certain specific scenic viewpoints, it unlocks nearby map markers, sort of like Assassin's Creed, and also gives you a temporary perception buff. You know, it's kind of weird that Jed, rest in peace, warned me not to mention Joshua to the locals, but the first person I meet immediately wants me to go meet him. I think the writers weren't all in the same room on the same day. But I do think it's pretty cool how the Happy Trails people all have interesting, unique backstories. So the first time you play this, you have no idea they're red shirts, and then boom, as soon as you get here, dead. And you're on your own hundreds of miles from home with no idea how to get back. Well, you have your Pip-Boy map, which is the whole reason they hired you, but you can't go back the way you came, so you need help from the locals to find the road back west.
Hold up. See that log over there? Take a closer look. There might be some good stuff tucked in there.
These hollow logs are basically the same as any other container in the game. I think their random loot is skewed more toward the items that are unique to the DLC, but without that hint, you might assume they're just scenery and not even notice them. One thing I did always like about Honest Hearts is the sense of verticality. If you play your cards right, you can get an enormous advantage over enemies, or they can have an enormous advantage over you, as the opening ambush is intended to demonstrate. Which, if I know where I am, happened right over there. Hey, I didn't notice that cart. And there's a box in it. Is it worth going back over there to check? Yeah. You put something in an intriguing location like that, it's got to be worth it. Can't reach it from here. If I can get in the cart without plunging to my death. There we go. Empty. Great. Okay. Let's see if I can get out of the cart without plunging to my death. This might have been a mistake. There we go. This is probably not the last time you'll see me exercise questionable judgment, so...
Way I heard it, salt upon wounds butchered everyone in New Canaan and nailed their corpses to the cliffs.
I do appreciate someone who knows when to change the subject. All right, let's go. So, who were those tribals who attacked me?
Whitelegs. Nasty bunch. They've been raiding deeper into Zion ever since New Canaan was wiped out.
Wait, what? New Canaan was wiped out? How?
That's what Joshua said. Whitelegs came down from Great Salt Lake in force. Fell on New Canaan before they could mount a defense. Joshua found some of the survivors led by a man named Daniel. Most of them have fled the valley. But Daniel stayed on with the Sorrows tribe. He and Joshua have been arguing over whether to stand and fight the Whitelegs, or take the Sorrows and the dead horses out of the valley.
Where do the Whitelegs come from?
That's the weird part. Normally the Whitelegs keep to the Great Salt Lake. I don't know what brought them down this far south.
Tell me more about Joshua Graham.
He's been the chief of our tribe since he came back to the valley. He went off to the civilized world years ago to fight a war. That didn't go well.
The only war I know of is when Caesar's legion attacked Hoover Dam. Is that where he fought?
I don't know. He doesn't talk about it much. Maybe. But how can two civilized tribes fight over something as small as a dam?
Well, it's not small, like something beavers could make. It's literally bigger than some of these mountains.
Ha! Really? That's... my gods. Must be some mighty civilized folks who built that. Go with fortune, friend.
Yeah, but those civilized people also blew up the world, so being well organized doesn't automatically mean being civilized. Or vice versa. Not saying they're mutually exclusive, just saying they don't necessarily always go hand in hand.
We follow this path for a while. Nice view of the river.
Another tactical change of subject. I like this guy.
Freeze. Don't move a muscle. Yao Guai.
I don't think I realized it until right now, but there aren't any Yao Guai in the New Vegas base game, are there?
Whew. That was some kind of lucky. Guess that one was all full of gecko, eh? Don't get used to it, though. Yao Guai are plenty mean as a rule.
They were all over Fallout 3, but New Vegas, I don't think so.
You can take the path north here if you want, or head east over the ridge. There's a nice view from the top of that cliff, if you want to look.
If you've seen many of my other videos, you know I always try to take the high ground even when the developers don't want me to, so sure, we'll check out the overlook, which is over there, I think. And there's a bear. I have the animal friend perk, so they shouldn't be hostile. Well, at least it worked on Yao Guai in Fallout 3, but since there aren't any in the Mojave, maybe be a little cautious.
Like the shadow of a ghost.
I don't know if he says that because my sneak skill is so high and he has a different line if it's lower, or if he always says that. Anyway, it's definitely green on the compass, but sometimes when creatures get a special pseudo cutscene intro, like the tunnelers in Lonesome Road, they're marked as non-hostile at first, so it doesn't screw up that first encounter, but then they turn hostile later. And that's not the cutscene bear, that's just a cub. That's the cutscene bear. And I guess it makes sense for it to be hostile if, like, the animal friend perk generally does work on Yao Guai and Honest Hearts, but it's not enough to keep the mama bear from being protective of her cubs. But I still want to check out this overlook. Sneak, don't fail me now. It should be somewhere along this edge.
Some kind of view up here, eh? If you know how to look, you can spot all kinds of landmarks from up here. Look, I'll show you.
And that's just a reminder about his companion perk. I mean, you can physically look at the surrounding area from these high spots and get an idea of the terrain, landmarks, that kind of thing. But we should also now have map markers on the Pip-Boy for any nearby locations. Yeah, there they are. You can't fast travel to them, but you can set a custom marker if you want to check something out, which is a lot easier than trying to pick out a route from up here and then remember it after you get back down. Speaking of which, we're supposed to be going to meet Joshua. Hopefully we can get back down without the mama bear spotting us. She's right over there, but her back is turned, so that's good. If you didn't see my video on sneaking and detection in New Vegas, the short version is everything you've ever heard is a lie. I mean, not a lie. An enemy's perception does matter, but not nearly as much as their level, which is supposedly only used to determine how many XP you get for killing them, but it turns out to also determine how good they are at detecting you when you're sneaking, and it matters a lot more than their perception stat. In the base game, most creatures are level 10 or below. The really tough ones are between 11 and 20, and only a handful of unique bosses are between 21 and 30. But literally all of the ghost people we saw in Dead Money were level 35, higher than anything in the base game, which is why they're basically impossible to sneak around.
Follow the old road south. Nearly there.
Anyway, I don't know if Honest Hearts does the same thing as Dead Money, but given how easily we snuck around the cutscene bear in broad daylight, I'm guessing not. And speaking of broad daylight, I took that perk in Dead Money because it supposedly negates the penalty for sneaking with your Pip-Boy light on, the same way silent running negates the penalty for running. But that is a lie. All it does is add 15 points to your sneak skill when the Pip-Boy light is on, and since my sneak skill is already 100, it does absolutely nothing for me. Hello. I guess a Cazador snuck up on us while I was blabbing and Follows Chalk took care of it. Although, I don't see a body anywhere. Well, he has a gun, so maybe it was way behind us and he shot it at long range, I guess.
You see the dead sentries? Shamans say our enemies' souls are trapped in them. But Joshua says it shows we're serious about fighting Whitelegs.
Bit brutal, but he was in the Legion, so if it works, don't knock it, I guess.
See those handprints? Dead horses and sorrows mark them on taboo places. Places from back when. Good thing for you, I don't buy into that stuff.
As I recall, that'll be relevant later because we'll get a bunch of fetch quests to collect equipment and supplies from pre-war buildings, and Follows Chalk doesn't mind going with you because he's the only guy in his tribe who isn't superstitious. And there is our first piece of Honest Hearts DLC armor, a park ranger hat. Let's go outside and try that on. Not bad. Keep the rain off my head at least. Did it stop already? Was this the first DLC that introduced weather? I mean, there was always weather, even back in Fallout 3, but it was just a matter of ambient light and the sky texture, whether it was cloudy or clear. I think Honest Hearts was the first time you saw actual rain falling. Doesn't look like there's any way down there, so I guess we'll go back and follow the road. Yeah, it turns the right way.
Where are you going? That's not the way to the camp.
Or not. Thank you. I mean, we're heading the right direction, but I guess we do have to go back around the ranger station. Guess I missed a path while I was fanboying about the weather. Yeah, right there.
Down this path to the north. Hope you don't mind getting wet.
Right. You actually have to walk down the river to reach their camp. I do remember this a little bit, just not well.
These paintings show the dead horse's victories against other tribes. Lots more of them since Joshua came to us.
Speaking of Joshua, there's a picture of him on that cliff. One nice thing about Honest Hearts in hardcore mode is you're never far from clean water or food. I'm not sure about sleep, but I'd be really surprised if there aren't unowned beds at the friendly tribes' camps. And those fish show up on the compass, but it doesn't look like you can interact with them. I guess that wasn't a thing until Skyrim. And there's a campfire, should I feel like doing any crafting. There's probably one at the actual camp, too, and I doubt I do much crafting anyway, but it's good to know. Hollow log. Healing powder and food. Won't say no to that.
Nearly there now. Watch out for traps in the water. Got to keep the white legs out somehow, eh?
I have the light step perk, so I don't need to worry about that. Although, I'm not sure if he can set them off, so it might be best to steer around them anyway. Can you disable them while they're underwater? Yes, but I'm going to leave them set. I know there's at least one big battle scene in a river. I don't remember if it's the White Legs invading here or us going after them, but I'll leave the trap set just in case.
Here we are. Joshua's just ahead there, in the Angel Cave.
All right. One more thing I want to do before I talk to Joshua. Just need to find a good place. I publish a culture and geography magazine. Want to do an interview and photo shoot?
I'll help any way I can.
Great. Would you mind showing me your tattoos? Like, all of them?
Is this some kind of civilized ritual I just don't get?
Not exactly. It's just that different readers are interested in different aspects of a feature.
I understand. Well, good sists.
I mentioned in the walkthrough of Coito Ergo Sum that most male models stripped their default undressed state, so they'll just be wearing vanilla underwear unless you have a nude body replacer. Which I don't, but Zion Tribals have a custom undressed body model, presumably because it would really break immersion if every time you loot armor off the corpse of a dude in a loincloth, a t-shirt and shorts magically materialized on their body. Which might seem like an oddly specific thing to remember, but I actually just added his photo shoot to the crossover mod. This is an unreleased alpha test, so this isn't in the version on the Nexus yet. He was always planned. If you look in the model's cheat sheet, he's there, just marked as not implemented. So I'm killing two birds with one stone, testing the update while making the video, which is one of several reasons I didn't start Honest Hearts immediately after the sneak and detection video, because I didn't want to do the walkthrough before the update and then make it obsolete, or at least incomplete, a few weeks later. Anyway, Joshua is in this cave right here, so let's go have a chat with him.
Hoi. Auslander Zuka Joshua Graham?
Intelligence check. Am I looking for Joshua? Yes, I am. Can you tell me where he is?
You know our tongue. Smart, Auslander. Joshua in high place of cave. You show respect, Utman. Joshua is greatest warrior. You show him no respect. He show you thunder and fire.
I'll make sure to be on my best behavior then.
You wise for Auslander.
All right. Where's the high place in the cave? Follows Chalk. You still back there? Yes, he is. Good.
There can't really be a place where people go into big buildings and give away all their money just to watch someone flip paper squares on a table.
Well, not quite. If they guess what's on the cards, they actually win money. But most of them don't, so yeah, it's basically what you said. And prostitutes. Can't forget the prostitutes.
We should have given you a better welcome on your first visit to Zion. But from what I hear, the Whitelegs beat us to it. Whitelegs seem to be the only visitors we have these days, and I wouldn't have expected anyone from the Mojave to come looking for us. And you're a courier, no less. Not the one I was expecting, but I suppose he wouldn't have come with a caravan. I don't know if you were close to the other members of your group, but you have my sympathy. I pray for the safety of all good people who come to Zion, even Gentiles. But we can't expect God to do all the work.
Actually, I came here with the Happy Trails Caravan Company to make contact with the New Canaanites. Guess that's out.
Happy Trails. I remember. They were good friends. I have bad news for your employers. New Canaan was destroyed, its citizens scattered. All because of the Whitelegs. And Caesar, of course. The Whitelegs want to join the Legion. Caesar's rite of passage is the destruction of the New Canaanites, almost assuredly because of me. The good news is that we can help you find your way back. Daniel, one of the other New Canaanites, has made many maps of the region. The bad news is that we can't help you right now, not with everything that's going on.
I'm not going to leave without offering to help. What can I do?
You're a good neighbor to us. We all go through periods of darkness. In such times we can turn to the Lord, but it's good to have friends. Daniel and I need pre-war tools to help us navigate beyond Zion. Should we need to evacuate, these instruments will be vital to us. Normally, we would have some of the dead horses or sorrows look for them, but many pre-war buildings in the valley are taboo. They won't go inside.
Taboo?
The Sorrows believe in a spirit that lives in the caves. Say the spirit punished them once for trespassing. They put special marks around the cave entrances to keep people out. It doesn't work on the Whitelegs, of course, but the dead horses are spooked.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Follows Chalk can help you find your way around the valley. He's inexperienced, but he knows enough of our language to ignore the taboos about pre-war buildings.
And that completes the first part of the main DLC questline. Joshua mentioned another courier, and I honestly don't remember how much Courier Jeff knows about that. I know in the Skills Dash series I knew literally nothing about Ulysses until I met him, but given my normal playstyle and that Courier Jeff is my main character for New Vegas, I've probably read all the graffiti and grilled, what's his name, Nash. Ruby's husband, the woman in Prim who makes scorpion casseroles. Johnson Nash? I think it's Johnson Nash. The guy that runs the courier office there. Anyway, I'm going to assume that I know, or that Courier Jeff knows, all of that backstory about how another courier turned down the platinum chip delivery before I took it. Not that it'll make a whole lot of difference in this DLC, but there might be a few clues that give us more context for the final showdown with Ulysses in Lonesome Road. And is this a back door? Yes, that was indeed a back door. Is it just me, or can you see a lot more stars here in Zion when there's no light pollution? I think that's a different night sky texture than the Mojave. Pretty cool. Anyway, this seems like a good place to save and call it a day. Well, actually, let me check one thing. If I can sleep in these beds, that solves the only other potential complication of hardcore mode, which was a nightmare in Dead Money. Yes, I can. Excellent. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next week.